A father and his son both fall head over heels for the same woman. Now, if this were a modern-day drama series, you'd expect shouting matches, dramatic music, and maybe a thrown glass or two. But this isn't Netflix. This is 19th century Russia. And the drama is so intense it makes reality TV look like a Sunday school picnic. And oh, did I mention there's a murder, a trial, and even the devil shows up for a chat?
What?
Yeah, buckle up, because this is one wild ride into the depths of human nature. The story begins in a small Russian town called Skotoprigonyevsk. Try saying that 3 times fast. Our narrator is this unnamed fellow who seems to know everything that's going on. He's like that neighbor who pretends not to care about your life, but knows the brand of toothpaste you use. He reports what he sees and hears, but honestly, he knows a little too much. Almost like Dostoevsky handed him a backstage pass to everyone's private thoughts. At the center of this tornado of chaos is the Karamazov family, a father and his 3 legitimate sons, plus a 4th lurking in the background. Let's start with the patriarch, Fyodor Pavlovich Karamazov. Picture a man who's wealthy but vulgar, lecherous, and completely self-absorbed. If there were a Worst Father of the Year award, he'd win it without competition. He started with nothing, clawed his way up, and built his wealth, but never his character. His hobbies, drinking, chasing women, and humiliating himself in public for fun. Now to his sons, Dmitri, the eldest. A passionate, reckless man who acts first, thinks never. He's all fire and no brakes. A man of extremes, like a walking exclamation point. Ivan the intellectual, the philosopher, a deep thinker who can argue both sides of an issue and still go to bed undecided. The guy you'd want to talk to about life's meaning, but maybe not if you're feeling mentally fragile. Alyosha, the youngest. A gentle soul who dropped out of school to become a novice monk. Innocent, pure, kind. If this family were a band, Alyosha would be the one singing the gospel while everyone else is smashing guitars. And hovering in the shadows is Smerdyakov, the illegitimate son, whose role will become crucial later. But let's not spoil the fun just yet. So here's where the trouble starts. Both Fyodor, the dad, and Dmitri, the son, fall madly in love with the same woman, Grushenka. She's young, beautiful, and has her own baggage, mainly the venom of past rejection. To her, this is a game of power and pride, and she knows exactly how to play it. What follows is a power struggle so intense, it makes Shakespeare's family feuds look like polite disagreements over tea. Both father and son want Grushenka, and neither is willing to back down. And when 2 hot-headed Karamazovs collide, you know disaster isn't far behind.
Dun, dun, dun!
Dmitri, being the impulsive hothead that he is, burns with jealousy. He needs money, desperately, to win Grushenka. But guess who controls the purse strings? Good old Fyodor. So Dmitri hatches a plan. Or rather, he flails around like a drowning man grabbing at sticks. He threatens, he pleads, he shouts his intentions to the world like someone live tweeting their crimes. Meanwhile, Ivan, the thinker, wrestles with his own demons. Not romantic ones, but philosophical. He's obsessed with the existence of God, morality, and justice. And he famously declares something chilling. If God does not exist, everything is permitted. This isn't just a throwaway line, it's a ticking time bomb in the story. Alyosha, sweet Alyosha, tries to keep the peace. He's the moral compass in a family spinning like a broken weather vane. His mentor, Father Zosima, teaches that love and humility are the only true paths. But Alyosha soon learns that lofty ideals don't always survive in the real world, especially when that world includes his family. Then comes the night that, well, changes everything. Fyodor Pavlovich ends up dead, murdered. And all fingers point to Dmitri. After all, he had the motive, the rage, and honestly, the big mouth. He even said things like,
"You have to deal with a man of honor, a man of the highest honor. Above all, don't lose sight of it. A man who's done a lot of nasty things, but has always been, and still is, honorable at bottom in his inner being."
Beautiful words, right? Too bad they sound like something you'd say right before being convicted. So Dmitri is arrested and the trial begins. And let me tell you, Russian courtrooms back then? Pure theater. You've got passionate lawyers, flowery speeches, and moral debates masquerading as legal arguments. Dmitri insists he didn't do it, but his behavior, his wild contradictions, His inability to lie convincingly? Well, let's just say subtlety isn't his strength. Meanwhile, Ivan spirals into madness. Remember all those lofty discussions about God and morality? Yeah, they come back to haunt him, literally. He starts hallucinating and sees the devil. And not a scary horned demon. No, this devil is annoyingly chatty, sarcastic, and oddly philosophical. At one point, the devil drops this gem.
Besides, proofs are no help to believing, especially material proofs. Thomas believed, not because he saw Christ risen, but because he wanted to believe, before he saw.
It's like Dostoevsky said, what's this novel missing? Oh, I know, existential dread personified. And here's the kicker, the devil uses Ivan's own arguments against him. Talk about mental chess with the ultimate troll. But perhaps the most famous section of this book is Ivan's parable of the Grand Inquisitor, a haunting, poetic tale set during the Spanish Inquisition where Christ returns to earth and is promptly arrested by the church. Why? Because according to the Inquisitor, humanity doesn't need freedom, it needs bread and authority. He says,
"Nothing is more seductive for man than his freedom of conscience, but nothing is a greater cause of suffering."
Mic drop. The Inquisitor basically argues that people don't want free will. They want security, miracles, and someone to tell them what to do. Heavy stuff, right? Back to Dmitri. He's convicted. Wrongfully, because the real murderer is, drumroll, Smerdyakov, the quiet, illegitimate son who learned his twisted morality from, you guessed it, Ivan's philosophy. But Dmitri, despite being innocent of the crime, accepts his punishment as a kind of spiritual redemption. In a weird way, this reckless man becomes the most honorable Karamazov of them all. And the book that takes us through all this chaos, philosophy, love, and murder is The Brothers Karamazov by Fyodor Dostoevsky. Yes, Dostoevsky's final masterpiece, the book where he poured every ounce of his soul, his questions, and his genius. Now let me tell you, this isn't just a novel. Calling it a novel feels like calling the ocean a puddle. This is a compendium of human thought, morality, psychology, theology, existentialism, you name it, it's in here. It asks the big questions. Does God exist? If he doesn't, is everything permissible? What is justice? What is freedom? And most hauntingly, can an idea destroy a man? Dmitri's obsession nearly does. Ivan's philosophy definitely does. The duality of human nature is everywhere, outer appearance versus inner being. Dmitri, wild and reckless, turns out to have a pure heart deep inside. Ivan, calm and rational, hides chaos in his soul. Even Smerdyakov, meek and silent, harbors darkness that explodes in violence. And don't even get me started on the relevance of the Grand Inquisitor section. It's a timeless critique of organized religion, freedom, and human weakness. Honestly, you could apply it to modern politics, consumerism, or social media, and it would still make sense. Dostoevsky wrote this as his final work, and it feels like he knew it. It's like he gathered every idea, every theme he ever wrestled with, and said, "Here, take it all." This book isn't just literature, it's philosophy in the form of drama, theology wrapped in crime fiction, and psychology disguised as storytelling. So, should you read it? Absolutely. If you want to grapple with life's biggest questions while being entertained by some of the most dramatic family drama ever written. But fair warning, it's dense. Take your time, savor the language, and let Dostoevsky blow your mind. And if you've already read it, what did you think about the Grand Inquisitor? Was Ivan right about freedom being a curse? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell because I've got more literary deep dives coming your way. Hey, thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If you're interested in diving deeper into this book, I've left some links down in the description. You can use it to grab yourself a copy and keep the adventure going. And if you're in the mood for more great reads, don't go just yet. Click on one of the videos popping up right now that I think you'll love. And don't forget to give this review a like, leave a comment, or even subscribe if you'd like to see more. Every bit of support helps us grow this little community of book lovers. See you in the next one.